coach. What was it out there that you guys didn't seem to click on either end, I think? What did you see out there as far as...
Yeah, I think let's start with the defence. I don't think we were aggressive enough getting into the ball. They were able to pick us off, get guys getting downhill, and our ability to recover and put side pressure on, I thought, was lacking early. There were some possessions there where we started to get a little bit better. I thought Dane Pinot handled the pick and rolls a little bit better from the 5 spot. And then you had Trey Cowell, Rowdy. They were a little bit of an improvement getting down there and putting some side pressure on. So I thought we had a little bit of momentum defensively there. I'm not sure if it's back into the third, start of the fourth, where it looked a little bit more like what we need. But yeah, no, for the most part, I didn't like our endeavours there on that side of the ball. It has been an area that we had improved in, I thought, over the first few games. But yeah, it was a little bit lacking tonight. From an offensive standpoint, it's just getting on the floor. The blokes need to be together. We've had a pretty rough trot. Chemistry was, something you need to build by being on the floor together. We blew a lot of shots around the rim as well. You start putting those in, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, they're working all right together, but the pace wasn't there. The ball wasn't zipping the way it's supposed to, and it's going to be difficult. We knew this, getting all these guys in at the same time. It's good in a way. It's great in a way, actually, because you're not sort of redesigning roles and repositioning all the players over each week, but what you get is one large disruption. We got Joe, Rowdy, and Trey, especially, who are short of a gallop. They just haven't been able to get up and down the floor. Joe hasn't done anything for a month. Trey Cal hasn't done anything for 5 weeks. In regards to running a lot, and Rowdy has been doing a little bit more than the others, and I thought it showed a little bit tonight. But yeah, you're never going to get that game fitness.
So you're introducing guys back into your lineup, but these are also games that you need to win.
Mm-hmm.
A home game against New Zealand is one that would be nice just to have in your pocket. Is there any way you're trying to expedite the sort of the easing in process for these guys that you're reintroducing back into the lineup?
I don't think we have a lot of choice, to be honest. It's the kids have done what they can. And I thought they had their moments again tonight. I thought Foxwell was pretty good. But there's a lot of mistakes getting made there because they're rookies. And, it's kind of you're balancing down. So is it going to expedite us? Geez, I hope so. But we need to sneak a few as well. It's a very tough balancing act right now. But, look forward to the challenge of it.
And Kyle, for you as the leader of this team, how were you trying to balance, trying to get guys involved and making sure they're getting used to, the sets you're running and things like that, along with, doing your stuff, like on balls and things like that, and trying to do the stuff you're comfortable with, but also trying to make sure that these guys get acclimatized to the team?
It's definitely a balance. As Simon said, everyone's got to get up to speed, and game shape and all those things help. One thing we've really been focused on is just our starting points. Really simple, starting the offense from where the offense needs to start. And I think that's going to help us. And I thought at times we crowded those situations again tonight. That was something that hurt us in the Cairns game in our reviews. So as a group, when new players come in, we need to go back to the basics in a way and get those starting points and things. And I think that was something I was trying to reiterate, but I think I got to do a better job of that as well. Not only helps me in the ball screen with space, but also gives those guys easier opportunities to turn in the corner and different things like that.
You guys, I think at one stage were 1 for 13 from 3 at one stage. How hard is it when they add up and add up?
Yeah, that was the prayer from Rowdy as well. It was so. Realistically, you haven't made a 3 going into the last quarter. That's who we are right now. Until we get the legs underneath Ryan, until we get the legs underneath Trey, Gary in there as well, assisting Kyle to sort of break down the defences and finding open looks for guys. It's a little bit of who we are right now. But we've got to find ways to win ugly. And, for me, it comes back to can't give them that many second looks. There was this, and it's set off straight off the bat. It's a key focus for us all week. Keep them off the boards. And then they come down. Some of them are long rebounds, and it's hard to stop long rebounds. They bounce over your head, and it's not much you can do about it. But there was some there that I thought there was some endeavour issues. And I thought that set the tone. And those are things we can look after. The shooting will come, but that's going to come down when the chemistry's there and when the guys got their legs underneath them. We saw a little bit of shooting in the last quarter. Just there was a little bit of pace, a little urgency to it as well. But then we also saw guys passing up open looks. So that's an indication for me that they don't have their legs underneath them. So we have to be better from the three-point line. You see teams that are shooting themselves in and out of games. We're hanging in games by trying to get to the free throw line and try to be, give ourselves second shot opportunities on the O boards. But we've got to make some shots.
You're going to have another crack at these guys on Thursday night over in New Zealand. I mean, I know you're going to do a full review obviously after tonight, but what did you think you saw out there tonight that you learned and might help you going into that one? And I guess also, how confident are you that you can start to get some more offensive production out of guys like Rowdy and Trey and even I guess Joe as they ramp up their minutes?
We'll certainly get more offensive production out of them. I thought Ryan was pretty good tonight, given his time on the sideline. I think he had 11 points, handful of rebounds as he usually does. So that was pretty solid. Trey put himself into some good positions to score, I thought. Some shots that he makes generally that didn't quite drop tonight. They'll be okay. Joe, we've got to work into the system. He's been with us for a couple of days, and he's not in shape just yet. So we've got to get some more out of Joe. Look, we've got them in a couple of weeks. What can we take from it? Firstly, can't give them that many second shots. Okay, we've got to be far more aggressive in our defence, far more into the ball. We've got to create some easier shots for ourselves too. Just transition. We've got to be better.
And their guard penetration as well seemed to really hurt you at times tonight, especially early on in their first quarter. They seemed to just kind of bolt into the paint and create from there. So, I mean, I know you spoke earlier about the defence, but that probably has to be a focal point too in terms of getting hands almost.
Yeah, they did. I think some of the shots were shots that you probably live with, but maybe you want a little bit more side pressure. You've got to pick ways to win and pick ways to lose when you play in this league. I think their percentages were pretty low for the game. Not as bad as ours, but they were pretty low. I think they were 40. I can't read. I didn't bring my glasses. I think they're 42 point something or other from the floor, maybe 48 from two, and I can't remember what they were from three, 28, something like that. So. You look at those numbers, you're like, okay, there's an element of bringing in an element of inefficiency to them. But I feel like there's a distinction between shots that you want them to take and the circumstances you want them to take them in. And I think we didn't get that pressure on with those shots, and they made them. So, you tip the hat, but we can be better.
It's still early season, but 1-3, you lost 3 in a row. How big does the next game become for you guys?
They're all big. I mean, we're in an awkward situation. You're missing four guys. We haven't had Rowdy and Creek for pre-season, so they come in. Creek comes into the season with no pre-season underneath him, and he's still short of a gallop. You don't have Ryan. You don't have Trey Cowell. He's in it with us for 3 days. Gary Brown's been missing. We've just been. It's been rough. We have to do our pre-season on the fly, and it's going to be hard. But there's enough talent there, but what we need is the endeavour things, and we've got to be perfect with those. We have to be perfect with those until the skill or the talent starts to rise up. Huge game for us on Thursday. We don't want to fall too far off. Having said that, we saw Sydney Kings last year starting a little bit of a rut with some players down, and you can build momentum, and you can build on the road, and you can get some momentum. So I don't want to be 1-4.
Sounded like Gary had a pretty big week. Would you expect him to play Thursday?
My expectations are that he will. It was not an act of desperation, but there was a little conversation after the session yesterday. Like, man, he looks pretty close. Do we maybe have a whisper about tonight? See if we can sneak him a few minutes. But we had that conversation, and look, it was wishful thinking. But he's making gains. The thing with his knee is that when he starts to fatigue, which is quickly, that he starts to hobble. He looks good there when he's fresh, but then he starts to hobble, and he's just got to get his mileage under him as well. But I think he'll be okay by Thursday for sure.
And I know it's super soon after the game, but Trey got through find that 20 minutes? Was that around what you were told? I know you mentioned the other day you were going to get a minutes.
Yeah. It wasn't a specific number given to me tonight. It was really just trying to get him through. I mean, you know, he's done nothing for 5 weeks. He had a rib injury, a fracture there, and so he couldn't get in the gym and lift. He couldn't swim to try and keep his aerobic capacity up, and he couldn't run. So it's a very, very awkward injury for a player to miss pre-season and then start the season and not be able to sort of get the work in off the floor. So we're going to have to bring him in on the fly. But he'll be better for the run. Classic line there, isn't it?
Bruce, you're up.
Yeah, Kyle, just touching on what Simon's already talked about a little bit, but from your perspective as a player and a leader on the team, how challenging is it when you haven't even had, let alone not for a game this season, you haven't had at any point everyone available for a training session? How tough is it to now try to blend these guys back in and get that chemistry right while trying to win basketball games in the middle of the season at the same time?
Oh, look, there's no denying that it's difficult. You know, 4 guys who are really key to our success and moving forward. You know, as Simon said, we have had to have a bit of a pre-season on the fly. You know, usually you've got 8 weeks or so to get together and, you know, figure things out, figure out where guys like the ball, different schemes, things like that. So, yeah, it's definitely difficult, but at the same time, we have to find a way to not use it as an excuse. Like, tonight we're on our home floor. I feel like we didn't do the right thing. I had a different saying in my head there that I was going to say that I didn't. So I'm glad. Anyway, yeah, it dribbled down our leg. All right. So I think, yeah, we need to do a better job as a group. Just little things, whether we've got new guys coming in or not. As a group, I've got the ultimate belief in this group. We need to do a better job there. But yeah, there's no doubt that bringing guys in is difficult. But this next, we've got two doubles now. We go away and come home twice, New Zealand, Perth, Brisbane and Adelaide. So a really good 2 weeks for us to get back and get a bit of game flow under these guys and play together more as a group.
That's right, we knew what you meant.
It was in my head.
What about Thursday's game? Is it a good thing that you've now got the same opponent where you can probably now just focus on getting yourselves right because you might not need to necessarily do as big of a scout on them? Is that a good thing now for that next game? Kyle? For me?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's always good to have these little mini series during the season. Yeah, it's good. You know, you want a little bit of revenge. You want to go again and play the team. And you know, we go over to their home floor now, so we got to do a good job of trying to get one there.
Yeah, that's all from Zoom.
Yeah, all good. Thanks, guys.
Don't